When I woke up this morning, I saw the news that the amazing life of Les Paul had come to an end. And I was sort of taken aback by how much it hit me emotionally. And I wrote on my Twitter account and on Facebook, I said that in a just world, the tributes and memorials for Les Paul will be 5 times the size of what Michael Jackson got. And I got an incredible amount of agreement and support, people agreeing with me, but I also got some direct messages and things like that of people who thought I was taking stabs at Michael Jackson or that I didn't understand. So I want to put it in perspective for some people who don't quite understand why I would think this, because it's nothing against Michael Jackson. He was a great entertainer, a great singer, a great dancer, and according to my friends who worked with him, a really nice guy and super talented in the studio. You know, and I think it's very realistic that history is going to look back at Michael Jackson in the same realm of Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley and Madonna and things like that. But when we talk about Les Paul, we are talking about a Renaissance man. I think history is going to look back at Les Paul in the same kind of terms we talk about Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Leonardo da Vinci. Really just these remarkable people where you look at their life and it's difficult to comprehend how big of an impact they actually have. A lot of people don't quite know it if you're not in the music business, but Les Paul, aside from being a big, huge pop star in his day, was also one of the greatest pioneers in the history of modern music. And it's virtually impossible to buy a CD or turn on the radio and not hear the impact of Les Paul. So it doesn't matter whether we're talking about the newest Slayer album or a jazz record or a Michael Jackson record. The work of Michael Jackson was built on the amazing pioneering work of Les Paul. Les Paul not only invented the Les Paul guitar, which bears his name, Les Paul invented the solid body electric guitar. So every time you see a guy on stage playing a electric guitar, a Les Paul, a Strat, a Paul Reed Smith, they are using designs that are built on the pioneering work of Les Paul. And he was also the pioneer that created overdubbing and multi-track recording. And so literally the work he did changed everything about popular music. With a few rare exception of maybe a couple classical records or a few audiophile jazz records, if you buy a CD or if you listen to the radio, you are listening to work built on the technology of Les Paul. So in addition to basically inventing the solid body electric guitar and multi-track recording and overdubbing, he was also very pivotal in pioneering things like delay techniques and certain compression techniques. And so everything, so many things that we take for granted every time we turn on the radio or buy a record, whether we're listening to jazz or extreme metal or pop or funk or blues, you name it, we are listening to the building blocks that Les Paul created. And even in terms of the approaches to how we record things, the whole technique of close miking is attributed to Les Paul. Before him, usually it would be records were done kind of so they would sound like you were out in the audience. But now, what he did was he started recording things very close to the sound source, very close to the vocal. So when you hear Michael Jackson sing "Beat It," with that very close, intimate sound where you can hear all the breathing, you are hearing Michael Jackson being recorded with the techniques that Les Paul pioneered, using technology that Les Paul pioneered, accompanied by instruments that Les Paul pioneered, and mixed with techniques that Les Paul pioneered. So this is no diss on Michael Jackson, but it's just important to understand how amazing and how important Les Paul was to the world of not only recorded music, but world as a whole. And I think when history looks back, it's going to be very difficult to find any single person in the history of the last 100 years of recorded music that had more of an impact. So anyway, goodbye Les Paul. It was a great life, and every day I wake up and I make records and I get to do music, and we cannot thank you enough. So hope you're in a better place, and hope you're making some great music wherever you are.